America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, yes, he has. And I am so proud to have been born in this great beautiful nation. Good morning. Welcome to Java with Jan. I'm Jan, your hostess with the mostest. Oh, what a blessing to be here with you again. Every day that I wake up, I'm blessed when I get to take care of my head myself, wash my face, brush my teeth, comb my hair, get dressed, and sit here with you and talk to you and do the other things that I have to do. I am blessed, and I thank God for that. You know, I just want to share with you some memories that I have, while I still have them, of when I went to school. I went to elementary school in Harlem, and I was in an accelerated class all through school. I was in the top the higher learners, and my teachers taught us to do well. They didn't make excuses. We we were given tests, pop quizzes. At any time you came to class, you didn't know if you were going to have a quiz or what. For tests, she would prepare us for, but for pop quizzes, we didn't know, so we were expected to do our best. We had spelling bees, we had um, all types of exercises, learning um, exercises to help us be excellent students. And we were expected to do our homework. We were expected to be successful in class. We were expected to know how to get along with each other. We didn't have this foolishness with fighting in class and talking back to the teacher. We didn't have time for that. We were busy learning. And so when it came time to graduate from the sixth grade, in Harlem, you graduated from the sixth grade, um, and then you went into junior high school. There was no middle school. Now I'm talking about the period from, because when I started school, say like from 1957 through 1962. 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. Yes, yes. Graduated from elementary school, sixth grade, at about 12 years old. And in preparation for graduating, we had to apply. We could either continue to go to school in Harlem, the neighborhood uh, junior high school, or we can apply to schools outside of the neighborhood in other boroughs, and that was called open enrollment. Now, for open enrollment, you had to fill out an application, um, and you specified. Some schools offered languages, so you could choose three languages that you wanted to learn. Um, uh, if you wanted music, they had what instrument you might want to learn how to play, and you sent in your application. And I believe to the school, you chose three schools. Um, and you would send in that application, of course, with your parents' permission. They had to sign off on it. And so the schools would get back to you. They gave you three choices because you might not get your first choice. You might not get your second choice, but you had a third choice. I was fortunate to have been selected by my first choice. And my first choice was a school that was far, far away from my home. because I like to travel. And I chose that school because it was way up in the Bronx. It was at the end of the D train line, 205th Street, and I would get on at 155th Street, 145th Street, excuse me. And I knew, because I wanted to travel. That was like my first experience really traveling by myself on a daily basis. And not only that, I wanted to learn how. I knew I wanted to do world traveling, but in order to do that, I felt I needed to know how to get along with other people, to see how other people lived and handled themselves. I wanted to be able to build my confidence in being able to be out there in the world. It would have been easier for me to stay in Harlem with the people that I knew. But you know what, to be honest, it was time for me to go someplace else. That's all I'll say. So I did that, and it was a good experience for me. It was before the civil rights movement. Now, the school that I went to was Junior High School 80, and it was in the Upper Bronx. It was near DeWitt Clinton High School, Bronx School of Science, Evander Childs High School, um, and I think it was Girls High was the name of it. But it was far enough away, and it was in a Jewish Italian neighborhood. So now I'm dealing with ethnicities that I'm not accustomed to dealing with in Harlem on a social level, because school is a social construct. And I did well there. I did very well. I never got into any, I didn't have problems with the people. There were a few teachers who I think were not used to dealing with black children. But I had, I think, one or two kind of like that. But I won them over by my scholastics, because sometimes people, at that time, we were seeing on TV a lot of negativeness about black people. They were always showing you the worst. And whenever you saw somebody on TV, they didn't show you anybody intelligent. They would show you the worst of the worst, you know, teeth missing, raggedy. They would show you the bums, the people living on the street, the people that even you wouldn't want to deal with. So that was the perception I felt that media was trying to give to the world about us. Okay, and let's face it, the reality is that we will always be seen by virtue of the color of our skin. So what are they going to see you doing, right or wrong? Acting like you have some sense or acting like you don't have sense. But in any event, those teachers were won over by my success in academics. That's all I had to do. I just had to do the best that could do. Okay, I didn't have to brown nose anybody. I didn't have to act like like kiss up, all this silly stuff that people like to say. I didn't have to do that. And I succeeded. I graduated from junior high school, and I made many friends of different ethnicities, and it was beautiful. And we didn't talk about each other being black or Italian. We were friends. That's all. We were friendly towards each other. We studied together. Whatever. We didn't, socializing outside of school. We didn't do. First of all, I lived too far away for that, so I had to get home right after school. But we did well. And also during that time, girls did not wear pants to school. We could only wear dresses and skirts, and the boys would wear they have to have a tie. Have to have a tie. So they would have, like, most of the time, suits. Okay, that's how we dressed. And we looked nice. And coming out of elementary school, I was also taught to dress for success. Because living in the city, you wouldn't always have time to run back home to change clothes if there was an opportunity presented to you. So that the way we dressed going to junior high school carried over into high school. Now, high school for me was from 1960, let me see, 12, wait, 6, 7, 8, ninth grade. Yeah. My junior high school years was 3 years. So when I attended junior high school, President Kennedy was killed, I think 1963. I think it was. I think it was 1963. But he died. We got the word when we were coming from lunch that he had passed. I think it was 1963. I'm not so certain anymore. And then when Martin Luther King died, I was in high school. So at that point, junior high school went from junior high school to high school, and that was in the Bronx. Also, I just stayed in the Bronx, just went further away. And I love that. That was a good experience also. And it was in high school that I had my first job. But in order to go and apply, I had to come prepared to present myself. So once again, in high school, I'm sorry, I keep saying middle school, but in high school, we dressed for success. So my dress was always, I was always a skirt or suit. I didn't really wear too many dresses. I wore suits and ensembles with matching, with shoes and matching pocketbook, and stockings with no runs. And when opportunities presented themselves, generally it was based on how you presented yourself, really how you looked. And I remember having to go for a job, interview for a job that was far away from my home. I had to pass my home on the train and get there by 4 o'clock. And I got out of high school about 3 o'clock. So I had to get to the train station, get the right train, and then take a bus. And but in any event, I got the job. And my first job, really, with taxpayer dollars coming out, was at Memorial Sloan Kettering for cancer research. And I worked there for about 2 years of while I was in high school. And it was a rich experience. I worked in the food services department, and it was a growth enriching experience, and I got along with all kinds of people, and it was just a good thing. But the point was that I had to present myself, and I had to be there on time, and I had to be there. Okay, all this old excuses didn't do. So I don't mean to sound disjointed, but like I said, I'm pulling on over 50 years of memories here. But I just want you to know that in this wonderful country, I had those opportunities, and it was good. And I thank God for that. I thank God for this country. I thank God for the people that I met and interacted with that helped make me a better person. So, what kind of memories do you have? What kind of work experience, life experience do you have? Think about it. Think about it. Until next time. Bye.